In the last episode, we showed off our new auto stacker, a piece of equipment that'll literally save us hours of work on the farm every year in the game. This time, we're going through a frenzy of selling to get the money for a big new arable crop field for early March planting. Rolling our grass field is the last step in the process for making silage, but this is the last grass work we're going to be doing for quite a while, until next spring. I'm going to be turning our attention to more arable crop fields, expanding our animal herds, buying bigger productions, and acquiring a couple more pieces of equipment we need here in the short term. I also made a prediction in the last episode that we'd be rolling the grass fields and getting that finished well into dusk here in October. That turned out to be pretty accurate. I don't really mind it though. It brings back some memories of me helping out on the family farm. This is the last of the rolling, and it's nice to see the light on the silo working as I'd hoped. We'll get this roller all folded up and tucked away, but we really can't quite call it a day for October. While we were rolling, I saw a great demand pop up for long planks over at that playground market hall. I think it's worth our while to load up the couple of long planks we've got at the sawmill, along with one wood beam, and get those sold. It's a bit of a drive across the map, but let's add to the bank account. Over $32,000. That's a great way to end October and also appreciate a little hard rain at night. Okay, morning on the farm, about 9 o'clock. Today shouldn't be that busy of a day. We've got a little goat watering to do, but other than that, it's really January where all the real activity is going to happen. We'll do a lot of selling in January and really try to boost that account for the arable field. Everything else is looking pretty good on the farm, so we'll go ahead and advance right through the day of December and get straight to the action. All right, January morning, let's do an assessment of the farm. The goats could use some more water, but more importantly, they've eaten through all the baled grass in the trough and chomped a pretty good way through the field grass, which isn't actively growing here in the winter. What we'll do today is give them a grass bale, and then in the spring, see if the meadow grass grows back and is able to keep them fed through the spring, summer, and early fall. The sawmill needs more wood. I've got a good plan for that, and several other products we've got stored up are about at their best price for the year. So we'll be selling everything: mushrooms, wheat, goat's milk, straw baled off the first crop of wheat, everything. The first order of business will be the wheat, and for that, we'll go get the sides put back on the trailer to hold the grain. One of the equipment pieces I mentioned earlier is to buy ourselves a proper grain trailer. This small trailer will work, but it's not sustainable for the long term. We'll repair the tractor as long as we're here and get the sides put on for $0. Once you purchase a configuration, you don't have to pay for it again. It just requires you to go to a workshop to do the conversion. Someday, we may buy our own workshop for the farm, but for now, it's all good. I'm a little excited to see our new silo at work. This is the first time we've used it to unload grain. There it is, that golden wheat. Fortunately, the best sell point is right around the corner at the farmer's market. It'll take 3 or 4 loads to deliver it all with the small trailer, So let's continue and get it all sold. Okay, here's the last of it. A partial load going into the market, and we're up to $39,500. We can immediately convert the trailer back to a bale trailer and get on with the rest of the selling, which for this trailer will be nothing but pallets. These mushrooms are the next to go, and I believe we'll have better luck stacking everything than last time. From what I read, Giants put out a fix to the jiggly migrating pallets, but there's only one way to know for sure, and that's to get them stacked. We're off to the sell point, and any misalignment this time is operator error. We'll get them backed in here and see what we've got. Almost $53,000 in the account. We're getting there. To buy the field I want, we need about $120,000. So more selling is definitely required. We have some more goat milk and 3 pallets of the bottled goat milk. I'll throw a couple of these partial pallets into the pitiful dairy and load up on the bottled goat milk. The only reason I'm still producing things with the small dairy, even though production is barely above break-even point, is because the small farmer's kiosk gives us a 20% bonus. So for all practical purposes, it's that bonus that makes it worthwhile. I'll stop here on the side of the road and just take a look. That is some highly detailed packaging. It's got a full advertising description and even some nutritional information. I'm impressed. Let's cash in the artwork and add to our total. About $8,000 in bottled goat milk. Let's see what's next on the farm. The regular goat milk is next for sale at the big dairy in town, and these 4 pallets alone should bring in close to $12,000 here on hard mode. Wow, will you look at that? We just loaded the pallets and another one has already spawned and started filling. The goats are absolutely wonderful. We're going to work here very shortly in this episode toward expanding the herd. There we go, $12,500, over $73,000 in the account, and we're not done with the selling, if you can believe it. Before I forget though, we'll load a bale of grass into the goat troughs. You can see how low they've eaten down the meadow grass, so we'll have a good mark of how much of that will regrow in the spring. I think it will, because I believe Giants fix that too, but typically in my tutorial and guide type videos, I always try to test things for myself so you as the viewers get to see the real thing and not just secondhand information. And we'll do a quick topping off of the goat water. They need that approximately every 2 months, which is a very small price to pay considering the money they bring in. Alright, one trip to the creek was all we needed. Now, we have a little time today before the silage is done fermenting. So, I've got a little side project involving our trees in the forest and our future goat expansion. I'm going to clear out as many of the smaller trees as I can and get them loaded into the sawmill. I went around and did a perimeter check to see what was and was not in our property, and any smaller medium-sized trees are going straight to the sawmill. I think in the big picture, after these are gone, I'll cut the last 3 or 4 big ones, maybe just leaving one, and completely clear this area. But I'm not going to leave it completely barren of trees. What I think I'll do is come back and plant a few oak trees, maybe like 2 or 3. Then fence in the whole area around the new animal pasture. It should be kind of fun growing our own trees for decorative purposes. We'll get to see them evolve over time. Okay, those 4 medium-sized trees are disposed of. Now we'll get the log trailer and clear out the last of the downy service berries. This will completely clear the way for the last big trees and bring this area one step closer to an animal pasture. Let's get after it. Okay, that's every single downy service berry we are able to cut. So we'll get this woolly caterpillar of shrubs into the sawmill. Yes, it took everything. I believe at this point we have just one last thing to sell, and it's a big one: our silage. You can see it's not quite done at 92%, but we can fast forward time and watch the fermenting progress. Now, one thing you should make note of is that silage, even in a single wrapped log like this, doesn't ferment all at the same time. The first bales we put in are now done, and so are some of the others, but the last couple bales we put into the wrapper aren't done yet. So you need to be a little careful and check that the last of your bales are done before unwrapping. Okay, they're all done now. It's time to put the auto stacker back into action and make quick work of this sale. Right, it looks like the price for silage will be a little better in February. Maybe. For my plan to come together, we have to buy the new field in the early part of March. So time will be running short if we wait. But I think we'll take our chances, move time forward, keep an eye on the silage price, then try to sell them. In the next episode, I realized we'll be short with the silage to get the $120,000 for the new field, but it will be ours, no matter what. See you next time.